everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Sharon and this is a channel that is dedicated to all things related to narcissism. I've been married to a covert narcissist for almost 20 years. I'm separated from him now, and what I do with this channel is I use my real life experiences to get information out there to people about what narcissism really is, what it looks like, what it does to you, and what it does to your family. In today's video, I'm going to talk about how narcissists just don't get it. Narcissism is a mental disorder. It's real, and it affects how the narcissist thinks about things and the way they process information. A narcissist doesn't look at the world the way that a non-narcissist does. A narcissist truly believes that they are superior, and they believe that they are entitled to all the best that life has to offer. They really believe that they're better and more deserving than anybody else. There's no reality in a narcissist's life. When I first discovered that my husband was a narcissist, I thought that this was a positive thing. Not that he was a narcissist, but that I had this information, because for so long I did not understand what the heck was going on. He acted insane, crazy. I couldn't understand the way that he thought about things. We could literally be looking at the same thing and he would swear it was something different. We could look at the color blue and he would insist that it was red, that type of thing. He could not see reality. And the thing is, I knew what I was seeing was right, and he refused. Everything was slanted towards himself. He could never put himself in a bad position. He was always right about everything, and he would stubbornly insist that things were a way that they were obviously not. So I used to search YouTube looking for information about narcissism. I wanted to learn more about this because I thought, all right, now that we know, or now that I know what the problem is, he can get better. He can be fixed. He can become the wonderful man I know he has the potential to be. Because I was still in a delusional state of mind, because I wasn't aware, I didn't realize how devastating this diagnosis really is. I was thinking, because of the way that he was at the beginning of the relationship, I now know that he was love bombing me. That's what narcissists do. They lay it on thick at the beginning, and you believe, because most people aren't narcissists. So you're a normal person. You have likes and dislikes. You know that you have good qualities and bad qualities. You just assume naturally that other people are exactly the same way. So the way you present yourself to other people is who you are. Now, admittedly, at the beginning of the relationship, everybody is on their, quote unquote, best behavior, but it's real. You're not pretending to be somebody completely different. You're just have your best manners, or you're in your best behavior because you want the person to like you, but you're nervous. That it's normal. Everybody's like that. But you're not a completely phony person. You're not pretending you like things that you don't. You're not living this world of fantasy trying to hook somebody in so that you can get things to your advantage. You want to get to know the person. A narcissist truly is not like that. It is the most difficult thing to accept. They can't change. It's who they are. And I know that devastates people. I have been devastated by it myself. That is why I have this YouTube channel. I truly want to help people understand the reality. When I first discovered my husband was a narcissist, I used to look up on YouTube. My husband is big on the silent treatment. He loves to give the silent treatment. So I would often be looking up things on the silent treatment. That's actually how I discovered he was a narcissist in the first place. So I would look things up, trying to determine, okay, how long is this going to last? How can I get him out of this? What can I do? What does this mean? How can I make sure that this relationship lasts? I was looking at everything from my perspective, what I could do, how I could change. Never once thinking, wait a second, he's being an entitled jerk. How dare he do this to me? I never thought that. It was all finding a way to get him out of this cycle, how he could be the man he used to be. But the man he used to be, the man he was at the beginning of the relationship, was a pretend person. It would really be like if I was pretending that I had a boyfriend, or if I had an imaginary husband. That's exactly what it is. The person doesn't exist. You can't have a relationship with somebody that doesn't exist. So I fully understand the devastation that somebody feels, and I fully understand how somebody doesn't want to accept it, how you're going to want to think I'm wrong. Maybe that's how it is for you, but definitely not for me. If you are with a narcissist, it can't last. It's not possible. The only thing that you're going to be able to have is a pretend relationship. Or in a best case scenario, you're going to be with somebody that you have to constantly prop up. You have to constantly make them feel better about themselves. You have to constantly degrade yourself, push yourself down, become a shell of the person that you were so that you can maybe have some good days with this person. So in this video, and I know I've kind of gone on a long time right now, I want to get into the reality of a narcissist not getting it. Narcissists are blind to any faults that they have. So when things go wrong, it's never going to be their fault. So they never learn from their mistakes. They never grow. They get angry and blame other people. Most people, if they do something wrong or something goes wrong, they'll think about it and they'll think, they'll realize sometimes that they were the fault of, it was their fault that something went wrong. Maybe it wasn't always your fault. It's not always your fault, but you recognize when things are your fault. And that's called counterfactual thinking. So that's when you analyze past mistakes and imagine what you should have done to avoid them, what you could have done, how things could have turned out differently. A narcissist never does that. For them, everything is done to them. If something bad happens, it's never their fault. So if you can't engage in counterfactual thinking, if you can't recognize things that you should have done, you could have done, why things have turned out the way that they are, you're never going to be able to grow, change, and adapt. That's a narcissist. They place themselves at the top and they will stubbornly insist that they deserve to be there, regardless of what's going on around them. It doesn't matter. There is no reality for a narcissist. Reality is what they make it. They are delusional. They don't have a regular thought process. Narcissism is a difficult thing to accept. It's a difficult thing to realize and recognize what that really means, because a narcissist is an actor. Basically the combination of a narcissist being an actor and you not being a narcissist makes it almost impossible to understand, because the narcissist acts differently with other people. So everybody around you probably sees a different version of the narcissist. And if you're not living with a narcissist, you are only seeing their good acting skills. You're not seeing the reality. You're not seeing what they do to people that upset them. They might have enemies. They might get in fights with people, but it's maybe somebody at work or somebody that has no consequence. So they'll just fall away from the narcissist's life and you'll never see them again. So you're not going to have anybody that can commiserate with you, that can understand. Really, your best case scenario would be if you're in a relationship with a narcissist and you somehow get in touch with an ex-girlfriend or boyfriend of them. Maybe then you could share stories and have somebody that could understand. But in general, you are completely alone. You're alone with a delusional person. So when they do things wrong, nobody can commiserate with you. Nobody can understand. You look like you are the crazy person because other people are going to tell you right to your face, what are you talking about? So-and-so is an amazing person. You must have really messed up, or you're not seeing them right at all. Or they'll even feel bad for the narcissist to have somebody that just doesn't get them at all. My husband, and this is what I do with this channel, is I use real life examples to help people understand, like, this is what narcissism does. So my husband has no idea how blessed he truly has been. His whole life, he has had everything given to him. Now, this is part of the reason he became a narcissist. There's different theories at how people become narcissists, but one of the main theories is that people who are narcissists are often indulged their whole life, so they don't have to work for anything. My husband has had everything given to him his entire life. He comes from a wealthy family. He had 3 cars when he was in high school. He would crash them, damage them, and his parents would buy him a new one. They bought him his own house when he was 25. He never had to work for anything. They paid for his college, and then when he flunked out, they paid for him to go to community college so he could get back into the college that he originally started at. His father pulled strings to get him jobs. I mean, literally, he never had to do anything. I was his first girlfriend. He married the first person that he was ever with. And when I expected him to be a husband, he couldn't do it. And I gave him so much leniency. I was so generous to him. I would give him so many chances because I didn't know what narcissism was. And I believed in the original way that he acted. I believed that was the real him. And I would blame myself. Well, why is he like this? What can I do better? That's not how it works. You got to look at it. If you're given, say a brand new car, you have this gorgeous new car, everything's running perfectly. If you don't take care of it, if you don't get the oil change, if you don't get regular maintenance, and when things fall apart, you just ignore it, the car is going to be a piece of junk in a relatively short amount of time. This car is not going to be the same car next year, the year after. It's going to get worse and worse. That's how a narcissist is. They're given everything and they don't take care of anything they have. They're given things that other people would kill for, but for a narcissist, they just expect it. My husband, he was given a house when he was 25 years old. Somebody like that, it was different for me. When I moved out when I was 18 and I was always working. So I was going to school, I worked. Now my parents did help me out when I was in college. So they did give me money. They helped me pay for my apartment. They did do that. But they didn't give me a house. They didn't give me a car. I was essentially on my own. So even though my parents helped me out financially, if I didn't also work, I would have been homeless. So, but for my husband, it was totally different. So I didn't grow up being indulged. And so I can function as an adult. My husband grew up being indulged. Even when he was an adult, he was indulged. And he never learned to launch. He was never, he never launched into adulthood. He stayed an entitled child. Even to this day, he is a homeless man. I've said this in other videos. My husband lives in his car because nobody is taking care of him. And, it's kind of a situation where you sink or swim. If somebody tosses you out and you're on your own, you have to start piling up the good choices. I've told my husband this so many times, he is just, I don't know what to do. I'm just all alone. Nobody will help me. And I've told him, I was like, you know what? You need to start making the right choice. You need to start making good choices. You make a good choice today. You make another good choice tomorrow. These choices pile up and then you can move forward. I was like, it's like if you're outside and it's a really cloudy day. The sun is still there. You just can't see it. I said, you have to look into the future. You need to look. You have to decide, okay, how am I want to get XYZ? How can I get XYZ? Well, I could do that by doing these things. He cannot do that. He doesn't look at anything past the clouds. He wants somebody to part the clouds for him. He's holding out for miracles. The thought of him just sitting in his car doing nothing at all to help himself is shocking. This is narcissism. They have no ability to do anything on their own. It has to be given to them. And this is especially true with covert narcissists. Overt narcissists are different. They're still jerks. They're still entitled, but they can function. A covert narcissist cannot function. He has hurt myself. He has hurt my kids terribly. And for a long time, we acquiesced to him. We tried to help him. At the beginning of the year, now I kicked him out of the house in December. At the beginning of the year, I was trying to make things work. I asked my kids, do you want to invite daddy over for dinner? And it would always be yes. They wanted it to work too. Now, my kids hate their father. And it's his fault. He doesn't get it. When I tell him the kids are upset with you, the kids don't want to see you, his attitude is, well, then fine, then I won't see them. It's not a normal parent who thinks, I need to take care of my kids. I need to fix this relationship. He'll just live without them. That's narcissism. We held on for so long. In December, what culminated in me kicking him out of the house was he filed a false police report against me. He attacked himself. He smashed his head against the wall, scared me, scared the kids. He did this in full view of everybody, and he blamed me. He said, now I'm a small person. I'm like 5'3" and I'm thin. And my husband is 6'3" and he's 250 pounds, maybe 260. It wouldn't be possible for me to lift him even if I wanted to. My husband claims that I threw him into a wall. I mean, it was absurd. Nobody believed this, but he insisted on it, and the police had to file a police report. I had Child Protective Services come over to my house. Everything worked out okay, but the reality is I had to suffer. My kids had to suffer, and he doesn't care. He did nothing he has never apologized to this day. He's never admitted that he did anything wrong. He looks at it as, well, I was upset. There's always an excuse. It's never their fault. That same night, he stole my phone. He took the phone and he stole it. I was looking for the phone while he was still here, and I said to my husband, do you have my phone? He took it out of his pocket, and the police noted that. They saw that he stole my phone. And later, I mentioned to him, I said, why did you steal my phone? And then he was upset. I said something like, why'd you steal my phone? The police, wrote that down that you stole my phone. He was not upset that he stole my phone. He was upset that the police noted it. And he said, oh, great. Now the police saw that. Oh, well, how could they have seen that? Why'd you have to ask my phone right in front of the police officer? I was going to give it back to you. It's never their fault. So my point in this video, please understand, narcissists don't get it. They don't understand. Nothing is real to them. They have their own idea of reality, and they will not stray from it. Think of them as the stubbornest person in the world. Just please realize it's not just me. This isn't, well, that's your narcissist. That's your husband. My husband's different. If you're with somebody that is very low on the narcissism scale, okay, maybe. But if you're with somebody that is a full-blown narcissist, the person they pretended to be at the beginning of the relationship is someone they pretended to be. Halloween's coming up. Halloween is tomorrow. Think about all these kids going around pretending to be somebody else. That's a narcissist. When they get home, they're going to take off their costume and be who they really are. When the narcissist gets comfortable, they're going to take off their costume and they're going to be who they really are permanently. And you need to save yourself. Please understand, I don't want to upset anybody. I truly understand how devastating this can be. But when you can recognize reality, that's when you can start making different choices. The narcissist can't make different choices. They'll never make different choices. They're who they are. It's a permanent condition. God bless you all. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please like it, subscribe to the channel, and I'm making videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So if all goes well, I will see you all on Monday. Have a great weekend.